I hope there's Bigfoot. I doubt there is. Not to throw a whole shadow over the rainy forest in Washington where there's already a lot of shadows. I hope there's Bigfoot. I don't think there is. The reason I don't think there is because we found bones of dinosaurs and everything else, but we haven't found bones that I've heard of Bigfoot. It would be fun if there's Bigfoot. I hope there's Bigfoot. But my guess is there is not. I think the most important thing is confidence. A lot of people think they're confident, but if you think about it, most people aren't. When the Egyptians were building the pyramids, or the Romans were building roads, or you had the westward push with the railroads, I don't think the guys in the ground were spending a lot of time thinking, hey, hundreds of thousands of years from now, they will look back at the brick I have just laid down here and say, I changed the world. If you get into a fight, don't take your helmet off. We're looking for smart football players, not dumb ones. First, take her to CD's Pit House BBQ in Moscow. If she will get her hands dirty with some great BBQ, you will know you are on the right track. How can it be that we laugh about England's obsession with the royal family? At least the royal family has college degrees and military service. As soon as the season is over, or even an off week, go elope. Trust me on that, go elope. Because basically every female in the family is going to terrorize you guys until it's over. Once it's over, I mean, they'll be upset for a few days, but it'll be over. And then you'll cruise along and have a happy marriage, have a happy life. I don't get atheists that want to believe in ghosts. Wait. You can't have a two-way go on that. You want to be agnostic, be an atheist, fine. But you don't get to bring ghosts along with you. It's a little like breakfast. You eat ham and eggs. As coaches and players, we're like the ham. You see the chicken's involved, but the pig's committed. We're like the pig, they're like the chicken. They're involved, but everything we have rides on this. Nothing has done more to bring people of different races and different backgrounds together than athletics, certainly more than politicians have ever done. It's why the Greeks invented the Olympics. Well, outside of Lubbock, expectations aren't very high, but it's okay. We play in Lubbock a lot this season. I think the days before cell phones, when it was dirt-clod wars at construction sites, was a whole lot more wholesome and productive, to be perfectly honest. I would go to Black Cyprus if you really want to make a good impression. If you just want good, solid food and aren't that much into atmosphere, I'd go to Mongolian Fire, which I really like. So one of those two. But if you go to the more high-end Black Cyprus, I'd talk to Nick beforehand because he has the menu and it's all really good. He's got some great appetizers and he'll come by and keep hitting you up. Here's this, try that. And I think it should work out really well. Disco. What a dark time for our country. Now, why would you want to use live bait? It seems to me the faster, more active fish would have to take the live bait. That's not what you want, is it? You want the big fish. I'm a big, fat, lazy fish. I'm not going to work. I'm going to eat the dead fish. It wouldn't make a difference to me, would it? Fish aren't smart. It's not like they have advanced degrees. I got my law degree at Pepperdine. I think the legal profession is getting somewhat corrupted. When it comes to lawyers, I think it's kind of a catch-22. On one hand, there's so much process, procedure, and mess caused by the legal profession. But on the other hand, the only way to sort through all of that process, procedure, and mess is through the legal profession. That's why I think lawyers are both very destructive and very necessary. It's like if you have guys coming after you with a sword, well, you better have a sword too. I'm a thin crust pizza guy. I respect people who like thick crust, but in my view, it's mostly bread. Twitter is now banned around here, so don't expect anything on Twitter. Twitter is banned. And quite frankly, if after today you see anything on Twitter from our team, I don't care if it says, quote, I love life. I would like to see it because I will suspend them. Some of the players have been great at giving effort. Some of them have been very poor. Some of them have this kind of zombie-like, go through the motions, everything is how it's always been, that's how it's always be. That's not pleasant to say or pleasant to think about it, but that's a fact. My favorite weather pattern happens to be when it rains mud. Dust comes through, rain on top of it, and it rains mud. Now, I know people that have been here for a while don't like that particular phenomenon as well as I do. But think about it. How many times in your life are you actually going to see it rain mud? I suspect aliens might exist, but I'm not sure if they're exactly little green men. I think that when you die, you continue to progress. You continue to grow into some kind of elevated state, but I don't think you just sit there and wallow around and play the harp. One night, my pet raccoon, Bilbo Baggins, got particularly feisty, so my dad and I drove him out to the woods. Once we found a good spot, we stopped and I put him on the ground and took his collar off. He kind of ambled about, taking in the new surroundings. I preface this next part by saying I do think humans and animals share an unspoken understanding to some extent. That's why it's so easy to bond with pets. So this is how I remember saying goodbye to Bilbo. He wandered 10 yards away or so from the truck, and then he turned and looked at us and kind of had this expression like, "It was nice knowing you." All this button pushing and whatnot, I mean, you can imagine, based on what's happened in the last 15 years, conversations just won't happen 10 years from now. There aren't going to be people to talk to. It's going to be like this. Do you want to go on a date with me? I don't know. What do you look like? Well, I kind of look like this. Okay, what are your interests? Well, what do you think my interests are? Looking into this thing and typing into this, just like yours are. Yeah, no kidding. That's what everybody's doing. Well, where do you want to go? Well, what difference does it make? Because all we're going to be doing is looking into machines anyways. Now that's true, and in the end, it's going to be tough to perpetuate the species.